Hello, this is Matt O'Leary, and this band was a mouth-watering opportunity for someone like me who likes to tell his friends about obscure indie bands that they've never heard of. Today it's a review of the posthumous third album from Georgian indie rock band The Glands called Double CODA. This one's very much in the same vein as Guided by Voices or Yo La Tengo. Unfortunately, the band's frontman and songwriter Ross Shapiro died back in 2016 from lung cancer. So Double CODA is a compilation of sorts of all the unreleased tracks that the Glands recorded in their active period from about 1996 to about 2003. Ross was your classic creative recluse with a bit of a perfectionistic streak and definitely encyclopedic knowledge of music. And after I heard Double CODA, I went back and explored their other two albums, Double Thriller, the debut, and then the self-titled second album, and they just sound poured over. I mean, it's still carefree, modest indie rock, but I'm just blown away by the level of attention to detail and mixing work on these tracks. And fun fact, the aptly named Double Thriller was apparently recorded on the exact same mixing console as Michael Jackson's Thriller. Wow. Usually a band like this would not really catch my attention with such a blasé aesthetic and such a regular Joe sort of name. I mean, a proper noun. Come on, guys. There's nothing I felt like I hadn't heard before, but as soon as I heard it, I just know I had to keep listening. There was just something pulling me back, gripping me, and I guess that's what I'm going to try to put a finger on. Since Double CODA is a compilation rather than a really intentional grouping of songs, I think it plays a little bit more like a greatest hits album, and I actually wouldn't be surprised to hear that it was exactly that. The band sticks to these mid-tempos a lot of times, which are a much harder sell than something a little bit more upbeat, and a lot of the songs don't even have choruses, but those supporting sounds that are just placed in there perfectly give the songs their pleasing texture. Like the songs Every Time I Listen to a Stranger or Sadie Song, which have these gentle pads and synths that sort of lull you into their very satisfyingly laid-back grooves. These songs remind me a lot of the band Grandaddy and the album The Sophomore Slump. Shapiro's vocals are full of energy and personality and life, and his melodies are so sticky. Over this Nirvana instrumental, he swoons like Robert Plant on the song Pie, whereas on tracks like Clover or A Boy Without a Head, it's almost like the softer he sings, the more I'm just pulled in and wanting to hear every word. It's not quite that whispery, airy tone that Ira Kaplan uses so effectively in the band Yo La Tengo, but it's still so effortless and so ethereal. Clover has a very Americana feel, which breaks into one of the best choruses on the album. Just every new chord change elicits such a different emotion. The song Possibilities is another one like that, with no specific hook, but just a wistful set of chords and vocal lines that sound as authentic as anything from Elliott Smith. It's everything great about 90s rock. In fact, some of the simplest songs are the hardest hitting here. The extent of the singing on the song Electricity is Ross just literally spelling out the word electricity. T-R-I-C-I-T-Y. Or the track Atmosphere, which is some Ben Folds territory with a punchy beat like ELO's Mr. Blueside. Shapiro almost always throws a third harmony on top of his melody, which really becomes a defining feature of the Gland sound. Atmosphere also manages to throw in this unexpected record scratch solo, which really fits with the playful mood and tone of the song. The song Great Waves is very relatable with its vaguely romantic lyric. Every letter starts with "Where do I begin?" You don't really know what or who he's talking about specifically, but that little line just evokes so much universal emotion, of not being able to express yourself and your true feelings to someone that you care deeply enough about to write a letter to. These poignant little moments are scattered throughout, like the heart-wrenchingly vulnerable closer, Save a Place for You, or on the peppy sofa, which sounds like a friend trying to convince his agoraphobe friend to leave the house. The album vacillates between these sweeter, more touching moments and these classic rock-infused tracks like Feelies or Pleaser or Have Your Cake. This was such a refreshing album for me, and one that really brought me back to some of my favorite bands from the era, like Yo La Tengo or Grandaddy or Badly Drawn Boy. If you like Teenage Fan Club or Pavement, I think you'll like this, but also if you just really appreciate expert songwriting and a lot of texture in music, then you'll definitely dig this. So it's an 8.5 out of 10 for Double CODA by the Glands, definitely one of my finds of the year, and a really great tribute to the late great Ross Shapiro. So don't let it slip by, and as always, thank you so much for watching.